Okay, here are some of the mistakes that I made when I was still in university, which I do not want you to do. Hi guys, hodimo se shata go jara nna ngwaneng wa ka moshato go tla go lena ke yawe. Dumela, leina la ka ke Matshepo ga Maisela, but I am Matshepo May. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Lessons on Lifestyle with Matshepo May. Did you subscribe? Did you like? Comment? Please do. Go image. Thank you. I know that being in varsity and receiving Nsfas, it's one of the most amazing things that could happen to you. But then also, that does not mean that you do not have to be a responsible person. Okay, here are some of the mistakes that I made when I was still in university, which I do not want you to do when you're still in university, especially if you are dependent on Nsfas. Hi, this is Matshepo. I'm a previous financial advisor and I'm currently working as a financial administrator. So please best believe that you go to girl when it comes to financial advice. Okay. So you guys probably know by now that I'm a firstborn, right? I'm the firstborn in my family. So I don't have a bigger sister, I don't have a bigger brother. I did not have anyone to kind of guide me through the steps as to how I'm supposed to navigate my financial freedom when I get to varsity. Most of us, when we get to varsity, the first time that we're gonna receive a lump sum of money that is above 5,000 rand, it's probably our Nsfas, and especially the book allowance money. That's the most money that you receive or you have received in your entire life, ever since your whole existence, actually. So the first amount of money that is big and broad that you're probably going to receive might be Nsfas. I'm not saying this to privilege people who maybe receive monthly allowance from their parents or whatnot. I'm speaking to people who probably know that they have never received an amount of 5,000 rand per month into their account, and they might have to receive such an amount because they're funded by Nsfas, and at the beginning of the year they're gonna get money for book allowance. Most people don't probably use book allowance to purchase books. Yeah, it's not really advisable. It is advisable, but it's not really something that you are kind of forced to purchase book. And a lot of people opt to buy second-hand books because they're a lot more cheaper than brand new books. Although some of the modules might come with new kind of content or new modules each and every way, it is still very much advisable that you buy whatever you feel like will work for you. Okay, so here are some of the mistakes that I made when I first received my Nsfas lump sum. Thank God, in my first year with my first Nsfas lump sum, I was able to get myself a laptop and a printer. Yes, I did that. I've always been responsible. So I got myself a laptop and a printer in my first year. But the other following years, I just misused my money on accessories, like on things that were not. Now when I look back, I kind of regret as to, what, I could have done better with my funds. But experience is the best teacher. I can't go back to that, but I can try to make sure that other people who are like me, who do not have people to guide them, are able to use their finances in a better way, in a way that it will benefit them for the long term or for the future. So this is what I want you to do with your first Nsfas, especially let's say you have laptop. Okay, let's say you have laptop, your family is prepared to take you to varsity the following year, they've decided to purchase a laptop on your behalf, and you have a laptop. Nah? What I'm going to advise you to do with your first lump sum of a book allowance, this is one thing that I want you to do. You either do this in your 4 years of studies or in your first year of studies, whichever year you feel like it will work for you. I'm not saying you're not supposed to enjoy your money and get yourself an iPhone, get yourself Shein clothes or whatever, but I'm saying that please also make sure that with that money you're going to do something with it that in the long run you're going to be very proud of yourself and you're not going to regret yourself like I did. I wish someone could have told me when I was still in university that, Matapo, can you please use some of your Nsfas lump sum to do a driver's license? I'm 24 now. I've started working a few years back and I'm only doing my driver's license now. I know, I'm only doing my driver's license now. So one of the requirements, especially now when you're applying for work, it's a license. Yes, employees want a driver's license. They're gonna write and say driver's license advantages. They're not gonna say they want it directly. There are certain jobs, especially in logistics, they do want a driver's license. Okay, they do want a driver's license. When you're gonna work in logistics, in an automotive industry, you do need a driver's license. Okay, and there are certain sectors, there are also certain industries that require a driver's license. So please prepare yourself for the next coming years when you'll be applying for employment and get yourself a driver's license with the lump sum that you had received from your Nsfas as a book allowance. I wish someone could have gave me this advice while I was still in university so that I can be able to get myself a driver's license. But like I said, experience is the best teacher. You do not have to do the very same mistakes that I did, but you can learn from the things that I did and correct yourself along the way. And also, please save. Make sure that you save, whether it be 100 rand, 200 rand. Just make sure that you save. Like, give yourself a task or give yourself, like, I don't know how to say this properly, but get used to saving. Like, get used to saving. You cannot eat all your money full like that, especially when you're still a student, because if you don't get used to saving as a student, imagine yourself a full employed person who's unable to save. It's gonna be chaotic, you see, especially because when you grow, life comes with a lot of responsibilities, a lot of emergencies that require a lot of money. So you probably do need to save. And also, one thing that I could advise, especially when I say save, is because I feel like we all can see how the South African job market is, especially for youth. There is little to no space for young people in the market. So save that when you are unemployed. I'm not saying you're gonna be unemployed, and I don't wish unemployment upon anyone, but this is the reality that we cannot kind of control. This is the reality that we cannot run away from. You're probably gonna graduate and sit at home for a few years, few months, or few weeks. It depends. It all depends. But whatever that you're going to do, just make sure that you save. Okay, you save so that you prepare yourself for the next coming years. And please don't use those funds like I did December and eat your money, all of it, and waste it on useless things. Save it and tell yourself, oh, this one is for this, with this particular amount, I'm saving it for when I am done with school. So please save so that when you are unemployed at home, you're not really too depressed, you're not too dependent on your parents and your siblings, because you know that you at least have something that you can depend on. And also, guys, being unemployed is expensive, but applying for employment is even more expensive, because sometimes you will need to go to interviews, sometimes you will need to send your employment applications to various provinces and whatnot, and all those kind of things. Sometimes you're gonna get an interview that's in Gauteng while you're in Limpopo, so you probably need to save for such days when they come, so that you do not have to look around and blame certain people and say that if it wasn't for my mom for not being able to give me money, for attending that interview. I could have probably been employed by now, and all those kind of things. We don't want such things. We don't want to be blaming people and saying that if it was probably my mama, I could have been employed by now because they refused to help me. Your emergencies are people's, not emergencies. Someone once told me this, that Tapo, your emergencies are not my emergencies. So I'm applying this to everyone. So please be mindful of how you use your money, especially if you know the kind of background that you come from. If you know the type of background that you come from, please use your money in a wiser way. I'm not saying do not enjoy yourself. I'm not saying don't get yourself the things you wish to get. But please, whatever you do in the process, be responsible with your funds. Another thing that I do not want you to make, this is a big financial mistake which a lot of people do due to desperation. I beg you, I beg, do not register for a course you have no business being in for the sake of being in university, especially if you're going to be funded by Nsfas. Please listen and listen attentively. Do not register for a course you know very well that you do not want. Do not register for a course for the sake of being in university, especially if you're going to be funded by Nsfas. You have no business wasting government resources over something that you know you have no business being in. Because if you waste your first Nsfas whatever, please know that Nsfas only funds one qualification for a period of 4 years. So let's say maybe you apply for something, you don't want it, and it's for 4 years, and then this year you waste it by going to university because when you just want to be in university, then the following year you decide that, okay, I want to move to my course of preference. Then you do move, but the course is actually kind of 4 years. You have already wasted a year, and Nsfas only funds for, let's say if a course is for 4 years, it funds for 4+. And then if a course is for 3 years, it funds for 3+. Don't unnecessarily just waste Nsfas money over things that are not worth it. And if you know the kind of background that you come from, I would advise you that please don't you dare fail. I know that courses are different, courses are difficult and whatnot, but the expense of failing, it's something that you cannot afford to do. Whatever you do, save the cause. Do whatever you need to do to save the cause. So this is just one of the things that I've observed that a lot of people have been making mistakes on. You find someone studying and you ask them, why are you studying this course? And they say, I just want to be in university. No, we don't want that, because in a few years you're going to regret. At least if you're studying for something that you do not want, it should be something that it allows you to pivot around into the things that you want. If you're studying for something you do not want, let it be closer to what you want. Because if you are far-fetched from what you want, it's going to be very hard for you to get what you want, especially if you are funded by Nsfas. So if you know you are like me, you don't have anyone that's gonna take you to varsity. If you know you are like me, no one is coming to save you but yourself, please do yourself a favor and use your Nsfas money in the most responsible way. Enjoy yourself in the process, but please be responsible, be mindful. And each and every day when you make decisions, think of the background that you come from and ask yourself, if I had to lose this funding, who is going to fund me? If I have to graduate, who's going to sponsor my unemployed life? If all these things had to happen, who is coming to save you? And if your answer is nobody's coming to save you, please do yourself a favor and make sure that you use your Nsfas money responsibly. Buy yourself a laptop. After getting a laptop, make sure that you get yourself a driver's license. After getting yourself a driver's license, that's when you can start to prioritize other things. But I want to advise you now that please get yourself a driver's license while you're still in university. It gives you enough advantage to have a driver's license for a longer period for when you're gonna purchase your own car. It also gives you enough space in the job market, because there are certain industries that require a driver's license when you apply. They don't care, they just want the driver's license to be there. And once they say it is advantages, it means if you apply without it, the possibilities of you and the other person who has it, for you to get that job, you probably might not get it, because they might get the person who actually has a driver's license. So these are some of the mistakes that I made when I was still in university. I wish someone could have told me that do this, don't do that, and unfortunately I didn't do them. I just ate my money. Shem. And look at me now, I'm doing a driver's license, and yeah, I wouldn't want that for yourself. So this is the big sister you have never had. Yeah, that was just it. I just wanted to come and tell you guys, hey, use your Nsfas responsibly. Whatever bursary that you're on, be it Nsfas, be it CETA, be it NRIF, or whatever bursary that you're on, please ensure that you use the money that you get in the most responsible way. And whatever happens, you're not going to regret your financial decisions in the next 5 years like I did. And if you know that in the next year you would want to further your studies yet again, and there are possibilities or chances that you might not have bursary but have to fund yourself, save towards funding yourself. At least save towards registering, So yeah, this is just a friendly advice. This is just the biggest sister advice to say, guys, no one is coming to save you, so please do yourself a favor and save yourself. So do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and hit the notification button so that whenever I post, you are notified. Bye.